What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Eli the Rebel. This is the last PPL NX video on the channel. We did get a win somehow, but it wasn't this game. It was the game before that. I got a forfeit win, which led me to the bronze quarterfinal game versus InCog, who we previously played. That was the game where I missed the focus blast with Gengar. But this game went a little differently. To me, I felt like it was closer than the first game. I mean, obviously, that's going to spoil pretty much the result of what happened here. But, regardless, it's been fun, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like less is more. Like, that's what I've come to realize and learn from when, through this entire NX experience. Less is more. I tried really hard to win, and I couldn't win. So, I'm joining AHPL, which stands for After Hours Pokemon League. So, we're just going to call it Apple from now on. I'm joining Apple, to end the generation off properly. I think by the time, I finish Apple, pretty much everybody has played through, Legends ZA, and, it'll be a smooth, transition to, because I'm going to go bring back the NCAA 11 streams, and then by the time I finish that series, Gen 10 will be out. So that's where I stand on that. But yeah, NX was fun, somewhat. I think it was cool to play. Some of the best players that that Generation 9 had to offer. Just to be a part of NX, just getting the invite was super, super cool. And to be honest, I think, I just needed to, I wouldn't say, try less. I would say, don't sweat so hard, I guess. Don't stress out so hard. Because I think I caught myself, and I was talking about this with Nova, right? Because Nova understood what was going on, I think I've been playing way too safe. And I think I put myself, I put pressure on myself to do well in this format. And as a result of that, I make all these safe plays so I can guarantee wins. But this is not the generation to play safe. And D-Ray also said, it took a year for him to realize this. But when you play, you have to sacrifice pieces in order to win. You have to sacrifice important pieces just to win games or something like that. And I think that's what, it's weird for me to say that, because I've gone into multiple leagues and made semifinals in 3-4 separate leagues this entire generation. And I didn't feel like I was, playing necessarily super, super safe. But I think it showed, when I look back at all of these games, not just this game, but stage 1, stage 2, I think I was just playing way too safe. Because I knew that the level of play was going to be super, super good. So the reason why I joined Apple was to, it's a battle within myself to see if I can, play aggressively. Again, the stakes are lower because it's Apple. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Apple is a bad league. I'm just saying that Apple isn't going to have the NX kind of, quality per se. So, there's that, and again, this is me speaking from my heart, my chest, and everything that I love about, I really love this gen. This gen is so much fun. but like at the same time, like it doesn't, it's not as balanced as what Gen 8 was. Gen 8 taught me, how important slow momentum was, and like, having bulky pivots and switches. Gen 9 doesn't really do that. Gen 9, you can't really do that. So, as a result, I have to play a little differently. And I think that's why I went with the team that I went with in Apple. You guys are going to see it now on the screen. So, like, again, I drafted Dragapult because it was first overall pick. It's what you do. But then when I saw the Terra rules, I was like, oh, there's no Terra bans on this. You just have 30 points to spend your Terras. So I went with, Dragapult. And then, like, after grace period, my speed tiers went from Dragapult all the way to Mammoslime when I first picked up the team. But then I fixed the speed tiers, by getting, Rotom Wash and Squawkabilly, Azelf, and Iron Bundle. That's how I filled the gap from Mammo to Pull, was through those 4 mons. And, now I feel like, I can, keep up with the high-paced meta, because the way the team was originally structured, I could theoretically have, like, a Scarf. I don't know. What's a good Scarfer that's, like, that's faster than 80 plus speed? Like say, like, a Scarf, like a Scarf Lando T or a Lando I. Well, could run Adamant or Modest and just murk me, right? So I filled the speed, so that way I'm forcing those kinds of Scarfers, the base 85s, the 90s, all those, I'm forcing them to be, timid and jolly natures now. That was why I prioritized the speed tier component of it, right? Because what did I have before? I had plans to Terra Garg, I had Iron Hands, right? I had all those mons, but like, at the same time, this, speed is probably the single most important thing in a singles, metagame, is who can move first. Speed control. Those are the words I'm looking for. But yeah, Apple's gonna be my last league for Generation 9. Based on my performances with NX. I'm not going out on NX in this way. No shot. But Apple's gonna be my redemption story to actually win some games. What's unique about Apple is that freaking, what's it called? Apple used to be, so this is season 3 of Apple. The first 2 seasons were done through Facebook. So it was a Facebook run draft league. And now they've opened it up and did a Discord invite, which allowed, some people like me, Zenkai Booster, Umbra Guardian, Zachmander, those people are in this league with me. So some familiar faces, some new faces. Hopefully I can play as many new faces as I can, just so that way, just to get me, I'd like to play some new people and, get some wins under my belt before I run into the Zenkai Boosters, the Zachmanders, the Vinny Dragons of the world. So that's what I'm hoping the schedule's gonna be like going into this. I mean, I have the team to get it done. I just have to build and make aggressive plays. I didn't do that in NX, so now I'm gonna go, and so now I'm just gonna completely, do the complete opposite of how I played in NX. NX, I played way too fastly. I made the safe play, like, okay, I'm gonna go to this mon and click this button because that's the safe thing to do. No, I'm gonna do the complete opposite for Apple, and hopefully it works out. You know what I mean? So, with that, it's been your boy Eli the Rebel. I catch you guys, man. Peace.